Man oh man, that new Ghost of Tsushima trailer looks very promising, especially the shots at the end that show a very varied and beautiful world that we can explore in this open world RPG. In this video I will go in depth on this new trailer, tell you everything you need to know. A like on the video would of course be super appreciated. And let's go. Summer 2020 is when the game is coming out, as the rumors already suggested too. We see it at the end of the trailer with the pretty cool box art of the game, where we see Jin, the main character, wearing the so-called ghost armor. Summer 2020 would be from June 20th till September 22nd, 2020. We normally don't see any big AAA releases in June or July, and I think that Ghost of Tsushima will dodge that time frame too, because The Last of Us Part 2 is already releasing on May 29th, 2020. So you don't want to have like a big PS4 exclusive to release really close to that. So I'm going with an August, early September sort of window. Spider-Man launch, for example, on September 7th, 2018. I can see a similar sort of launch window for Ghost of Tsushima. And really, I can't wait for this game to come out, and the trailer got me even more hyped. So let's immediately jump to the sort of combat sequence, because there seem to be these enemy camps in the game that we can try and clear out. And Jin is starting here with that sort of stealth chain attack, where you jump onto one target and then can chain to another enemy, what we already saw in the E3 2018 gameplay as well. It looks very brutal. I love this sort of overhead slash to catch the enemy off guard, and as Sucker Punch already noted before, the enemies die extremely fast, like you would expect. But that also means that we can die really fast as Jin. So in that sense, the combat is pretty realistic for as far as that's possible, of course, for a game. There is still a progression system though, and you can upgrade your skills. Like, I would not be surprised if the bomb that Jin is throwing here is something that you have to unlock, or the bomb that he uses to disappear likely from the enemies. And that crazy chain attack that we saw earlier is likely also something you can't do from the start. The grappling hook was already confirmed as something you can unlock later in the game. We also got our first look at a bow, and we can shoot fire arrows with that will set the enemies ablaze. And again, I think that one fire arrow will be enough to take out these regular enemies. And I love this horse assassination too. What an awesome way to start the combat encounter. And I've said this before, this really looks like the Japanese Assassin's Creed that we never got. A big difference would be though that the Assassin's Creed in Japan would likely have some sort of fantasy powers, as we saw in Odyssey as well, while Ghost of Tsushima will not have any supernatural elements. And I'm pretty sure that the Jin we saw in the trailer was already pretty well advanced, but I think we also see him very early in the game, after the first big Mongol invasion on Komodahama Beach on Toshima Island. And according to Wikipedia, there were 80 units to defend the beach against the 15,000 Mongol troops. So of course they lost and all the samurais were killed. Well, actually in this game Jin survived, and now he wants revenge. And I think this scene perfectly shows that, where he calls out the name of maybe the Mongol emperor who was behind the invasion of Japan. In the real history it was Kublai Khan. Maybe Sucker Punch slightly twisted that name a bit, because while the game is set during the historical time period, the Mongol invasion of Japan in 1274, Sucker Punch did tweak some things to make it their own. And then we see a short tease with a door opening, and we likely get an awesome boss fight right there. Of course, just my theory of what is kind of going on in this game. I would love to hear your take in the comments down below. One thing is really clear from this trailer: we are special in this world, and the enemies know about us, and they also fear us.
Tell him I'm coming.
And this also once again shows that Jin is after someone, again likely the general or the emperor of the Mongols. Would not be surprised if that is our main goal in this game, to take this guy out. and it seems like the mask is something you can take off, by the way, so maybe a separate piece of equipment for extra protection. Like, I don't think he uses it to protect his identity, because everyone seems to know that he is that guy that survived on the beach. I will probably leave it on during most of my play session if that's possible. It looks way too cool. And yes, Jin is the ghost, likely because he survived that battle on the beach while nobody else did. And then we get to the coolest part of the trailer, and no, that is not the orchestra that was playing during the Game Awards. I mean, it was cool, it kind of reminds me of the God of War reveal, but while watching the Game Awards, they totally like blocked the screen and some of the coolest scenes. Like, they focused on this guy on the drums, while we got like very awesome footage in the trailer. So let's look at that amazing footage, shall we? Because it's an open world game, and this really perfectly shows that. On the PlayStation blog, it's noted that this game is huge and the biggest game Sucker Punch has ever made by a wide margin. Okay, the Infamous games were not that big. They did have an open world, and I think you could spend like 20 hours in them to see everything. But yeah, this will be bigger than that, and the trailer barely scratched the surface, according to the communications manager. Like, damn. Because we already see so many different and beautiful locations, and with wildlife as well. I'm curious if there will be hunting. I mean, we do know that there is a crafting system in the game, so maybe hunting plays a role in that. Not confirmed right now. And this might be one of the most beautiful areas in the trailer. It looks like a fantasy world, and I really like how the smoke is always there in the distance. And then bam, we switch to a snow area with a small storm. It's hard to see how the deformation of the horse will be in the snow, but it does look great for sure. And then we go to another scene where Jin is surrounded by red flowers, and we see another, from the looks of it, pretty powerful enemy walking our way as well. And I think this kind of shows you that the combat will totally be about skill too, like you slowly approach to the enemy to see what he does and then strike at the right time. Of course, the E3 2018 trailer already showcased that beautifully as well, where Jin is just waiting for the enemy to strike and then does an insane counter attack. If we go back to the Game Awards trailer, we see that the next shot is completely different as well. A beach, water, and we are climbing here. And it looks like a dedicated climb path that we just cannot climb up every mountain we see like in Breath of the Wild. I think it's more comparable to something like Horizon Zero Dawn. And man, then we go to the next shot inside a small village from the looks of it. We got some NPCs doing their day job, and then the yellow leaves, of course, looking very, very awesome. And we see a completely different area with some mist in the next shot. And by the way, Jin is using, I think, the same horse in every bit of the footage from the looks of it. And it kind of looks the same as the one from the E3 2018 trailer. So not sure if we can like ride different horses or if we have the same one the whole time. In the reveal trailer we actually do see another horse and also with other armor, but yeah, that trailer was 2 years ago, so maybe they changed that up. Would be cool though if we could change our horse in some way, but right now it's kind of hard to say. And then this shot is awesome too, in the burnt forest, ready to fight some of the incoming soldiers. And I love how hesitant these soldiers are. Like, they know Jin is coming and they're like slowly approaching him because they likely know that this will be their last battle. Then we see a fire barrage in the next shot while infiltrating a camp, but Jin doesn't really seem to care, although I'm sure that we have to dodge it if we are playing ourselves. And then he's like calling out that person's name again. Overall, I'm really impressed, especially by the environment that we get to explore in this game. We already got a glimpse of that during the Paris Games Week trailer, but that was more a sort of teaser trailer, an introduction to the world that Sucker Punch is creating, while right now we really see that you can actually go everywhere in this very awesome map. I can't wait to hear and see more of the game, and we should actually get more info on Jin, the threats that he will face, the allies that he will make along his journey. And I think we already saw one of the allies, Masako, in the E3 2018 trailer. And as I already said in my previous video, here Jin has a completely different outfit than the one we saw in the Game Awards footage. And on the PlayStation blog, Sucker Punch notes that Jin will acquire a ton of gear and upgrades throughout his journey, which we will share many more details about next year. So I really think that the armor customization is a big focus of this game, and I'm all for that, of course, in a third-person open-world RPG. Like, I already knew that this game might be right up my alley, and this trailer more than confirmed that. I really can't wait to see more of the game and learn about the systems, like the crafting, and when we of course know more, I will let you know here on the channel. So totally subscribe for everything on Ghost of Tsushima if you haven't already. This will really be one of the biggest games I cover here on the channel in 2020, and 2020 is insane. I just posted this tweet with a photo of our wallet in 2020. Like the video to support the channel, totally check out my previous video. That is about the new Spider-Man game that we might already see next year. More info in that video. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.